Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going over the Silven skill trailer because it is now out, and we're going to break it down as well. So let's get right into it.
Always an honor to be of service.
Yep, that's our Silven, always ready to help out whenever someone needs it. He comes from an old knight family that has fallen on hard times, but that hasn't stopped him from being one of the most popular guys around. I guess being genuinely nice really does pay off. Even when my magic goes sideways,
So we have the Specialization, Dream Realm Specialization, and AFK stages, but of course we're going to be critical, looking at his kit and analyze, does he actually have potential to be meta there? He has synergy with heroes like Twins, which basically every hero in the game has synergy with them. Hugin, I guess, for maybe attack buffing and maybe shielding. Aloft for penetration buff, and then Leica as well, energy and attack speed. Oh, attack speed buff. Okay. Empowered maybe normal attacks.
which happens way more than I'd like. He just smiles and calls it a creative spin on the spell. The way he stays so calm and confident, maybe that's what real knightly spirit looks like. Come to think of it, the way Silven treats others is a lot like how he handles magic. Thoughtful, patient, and with extra precision. When Silven uses his ultimate, Aloft Edge, he summons several flying blades up in the air. For a while after that, every normal attack he does sends those blades zooming straight.
I mean, that is a really cool ability. It isn't just like a one-time ultimate nuke. Your ultimate spawns these blades that are going to be thrown at the enemy on every normal attack casted after your ultimate cast. Now, probably there will be some limit of maybe number of normal attacks or maybe even a time duration. But like now I'm really seeing, because he's going to have these massively empowered normal attacks by 7 blades, and all the damage multipliers are going to decide everything for him, because he's looking like he's just going to be a raw, dedicated damage dealer. And, okay, interesting.
Right at enemies, dealing damage with each hit. Silven says his sword carries his family's honor, so he's infused his force field magic into the steel. Every time he draws it, he's fighting for the legacy of his family. In battle, Silven becomes fully focused on his target, and everything else just fades away. When a flying blade triggered by his normal attacks hits an enemy, it leaves a blade mark on the enemy. After performing a few normal attacks, his next normal attack turns into gravity collapse on the enemy with the most blade marks.
Okay, so this is going to be also an enhanced form of basically normal attacks. When it applies enough stacks onto the enemy target, it is going to activate Gravity Collapse, which looks like a knockdown crowd control ability. I guess that's maybe the AFK stage angle, but it does only seem to be single target. When a flying blade sent by Silven's normal attacks hits an enemy, it leaves a blade mark. After performing a few normal attacks, Silven's next normal attack turns into Gravity Collapse on the enemy with the most blade marks. Gravity Collapse deals damage, knocks the enemy down, and detonates all blade marks on that enemy to deal more extra damage. Okay.
Gravity Collapse deals damage, knocks the enemy down, and detonates all blade marks on that enemy to deal.
It seems to be a pretty long knockdown, maybe 2 seconds. It always is difficult to tell in these skill trailers because I don't know if they're really slowing down the time or something. But yeah, I mean, it does pretty interesting, but it does seem to be only single target.
Extra damage. And if Aloft Edge is active when Silven uses Gravity Collapse, the collapse hits a bigger area.
There you go. So there you have the area of effect knockdown. If his ultimate Aloft Edge is active with his, extra blades on the normal attacks, then Gravity Collapse is going to have a bigger area of knockdown crowd control, and then also extra flying blades to deal damage. I mean, that is honestly, because it also seems like to detonate Gravity Collapse, it only takes a couple of normal attacks, and like if he had enough attack speed already, he could maybe permanently crowd control enemies, even in AFK stages, and also contribute some damage. I mean, that's looking really interesting to me. I think overall, like he can be like right now he's seeming like potentially a great single target damage dealer because of all blades channel into one target, and then also a crowd control knockdowner in potentially AFK stages, which is basically what Theodore is doing right now. Yeah, really, I like so far I'm impressed with this kit. It has exceeded my expectations so far, so let's go ahead and continue.
And launches extra flying blades to keep the pressure on. Silven's been practicing his force field magic for years, and he's figured out all these creative ways to use it. Ways that feel much more fluid and alive. At the start of every battle, he sets up this magic barrier called Tempered Field around himself, which makes him tougher against ranged attacks. Oh, and if his flying blades fly through the barrier on their way to the target, they get sharpened up and hit for extra true damage.
Okay, this is a really also interesting ability. It increases his tankiness, which can help for mainly for, you know, if in AFK stages or PvP range defense buff. But on top of that, it is gonna convert damage into true damage, right? His flying blades will sharpen, and they're gonna deal or not convert. It's gonna deal damage and then some extra additional true damage on top of the normal damage. Now the question is all gonna be in the multipliers, because we know a hero like Shamira, she has huge single target true damage, and that is why she is the queen of pre-endless dream realm. Right now, Silven is looking like potentially an angle for pre-endless dream realm, but really, if he would. If he for him to come into the meta, it is, or replace Shamira, that is going to be very, very difficult, and I'm not believing that's actually going to happen. But maybe for, like, you know, the Blightshroom Dream Realm boss, where you can't cast ultimates that many times, maybe just a normal attacker like Silven could actually get the job done with damage output. I just don't really know. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. But again, it all comes down to the multipliers, and we will not know that until we have the actual skill kit out.
Away to the target, they get sharpened up and hit for extra true damage. The thing is, it requires really precise control, so the barrier disappears if he moves. But if he stays still for a few seconds, it will come back up. Even during a heated fight, Silven never drops his knightly code. After unlocking his exclusive skill, he begins returning the favor when allies support him. Whenever an allied hero buffs him with temporary stat boosts, Silven immediately recovers some energy, and he grants both himself and that ally a permanent attack speed.
This is actually a crazy skill. Exclusive skill, Oath of Fealty, because number one, it is going to pretty substantially buff Silven's own damage. He's going to get energy so he can cycle ultimates, penetration, and permanently increase his attack speed. And a lot of his kit will depend on his normal attacks for his damage. But also, it will increase the attack speed of the ally who gave him the temporary stat buff. And I guess that is why, you know, Hugin and Leica are recommended as allies for him. And in AFK stages, of course, there are going to be heroes like Hugin being used, who does give the temporary stat buffs. Apart from that, I can't really know exactly. There are not that many temporary stat buffers being used in AFK stage meta right now. But for Dream Realm, there are the twins. Whenever they cast ultimate, that is a temporary stat buff, and that would count. Hugin would count. And yeah, so I think, you know, overall, Silva's looking pretty interesting. Now, unfortunately, it only gives an attack speed buff to the other ally who buffed him. It would be nice if it gave like a haste buff. You know, like imagine like you're using Hugin to buff Silven in AFK stages, and then Hugin's also getting massive haste buff and can cycle his ultimates really fast. Attack speed is still useful, definitely, but I don't know, haste would also feel pretty good. But yeah, I think Interesting, definitely interesting skill, but I'm still cautious because it's gonna be about the numbers with him. He's just a dedicated damage dealer, but he does have the crowd control utility for AFK stages, which is interesting.
Boost, but it only triggers once for each ally. Upgrade this skill and it gets even better. After Silven has been buffed enough times, his attack increases. People say Silven's ancestor made his name during the Divine War, with nothing but his unmatched sword skills and force field magic. Silven carries that legacy with real pride. He didn't just inherit the family tradition of mastering an enchanted sword. He's taken it further, made it a lot more versatile. You can really see it in the way he fights. Maybe that's why he tries so hard. He's keeping that legacy alive, but in his own way. Silven usually starts a fight by putting up his tempered field, which not only shields him, but also powers up any flying blades that pass through it. It gives him solid defense while powering up his offense right from the start. He then sends those enhanced blades at enemies, tagging them with blade marks. When the time is right, Silven unleashes Gravity Collapse to detonate all the blade marks on an enemy, dealing a devastating blow to that enemy. And if his allies buff him, the whole cycle speeds up and hits even harder. Silven just keeps marking, detonating, and bursting until the fight's over. Even with all that pressure to restore his family name, Silven never loses his cheerful spirit. Professor Solis once said, he walks the line between dreams and duty, friendly, honest, and always carries himself with knightly grace. Not that I get what that means, but I do know this. When Silven's around, even my biggest screw-ups don't feel so awful. Wait, forget I said that last part.
Okay, guys, so that was an interesting skill trailer to say the least. He's coming out on February 13th, which is a bit over 7 days from right now for global server. VN server will have him 2 days before global, so February 11th. And then we will have more information, like his full skill information and multipliers. But being a dedicated damage dealer, now for the Dream Realm angle, it is all going to come down to his multipliers. And then it's really going to come down to, can he outdamage Shmira, which, looking at his kit, I am doubtful. I really don't think he will be able to outdamage Shmira, which basically leaves any boss where Shmira can't be used for him to be used in, because he's a dedicated damage dealer. He doesn't provide team-wide buffs other than that attack speed buff only to the ally who buffs him, which is not, like, you know, it isn't going to help your other DPS in a team comp. But I, you know, I like Blight Shroom, you know, and just where you're just normal attacking the whole fight. But then he also needs to cast his ultimate. That is the other thing, because to keep getting those blades up to get that bonus damage thrown at the target. So yeah, I don't really know where I stand on Silven right now. I'm still quite skeptical and cautious. It's definitely a wait and see for me right now. For AFK stages, I think definitely is interesting with his gravity collapse, especially after casting ultimate, having the enhanced area where multiple enemies can be knocked down, and it seemed like a pretty decent duration of knockdown. And then also the fact that he can buff up the attack speed of like a Hugin on your team, who gives Silven the buff, and then, you know, that is just going to allow Hugin to get his ultimates casting more frequently, but not casting his actual skills more frequently, because it's not a haste buff, but he should be getting his ultimates a bit more frequently with that, which is, yeah, I mean, that is great. So yeah, I think definitely an interesting hero and an interesting angle they went with it, having it both kind of maybe Dream Realm, maybe AFK stages, but to know exactly where he's going to be meta right now, that is tough to say. And I think it's leaning more towards, honestly, I feel like it's leaning more towards AFK stages rather than Dream Realm, because from his kit, nothing, unless these numbers are insane, I don't know. And I guess it also matters those 7 daggers that he has, which are casting after he casts his ultimate on every normal attack. what type of multiplier is that? Is that true damage or is that just regular damage? If it's just regular damage, honestly, it's not going to be enough. If it's true damage, then there's some potential. And also in Dream Realm, the thing is you're going to have the twins. They're going to allow your whole team to cycle your ultimates really, really rapidly. And so Silven may permanently be able to keep that uptime of those daggers, channeling each time he casts a normal attack, because he'll be able to keep recasting his ultimate to resupply them. So yeah, that is an interesting aspect for sure. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you hyped for Silven? Are you maybe a bit more optimistic that he will become meta for Dream Realm or AFK stages? Let me know in the comment section. But thank you guys all so much for watching. That is going to be it for this video. And if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video in a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.